Yo, Caesar here, and welcome back to round 2 of Proximity GT Sport Racing League. And we are in a beautiful track in Sardinia. I believe this track is situated in Croatia. It's a Gran Turismo official track. No, it's in Italy. So we are in the valley of the Italian mountains, and as you can see, we are racing tonight with LMP1 cars. So to those who are not familiar, we will be racing majorly on the original tracks, but the categories of cars will keep on changing every week. So there are 4 different categories, and they are almost evenly spread throughout the 10 races that we're going to have this season, and this is season 2 if anyone wants to know. So while we are waiting for everyone else to join the room, I'll just quickly run through the basic rules of the race. So using all 3 tire compound of tires is mandatory. Failing to do so will result in an additional 20 seconds penalty slapped on to your final race time. So if you don't want that penalty, you make sure that you use those tire compounds. Damage as usual is set to heavy, slipstream is set to real. So just like last week in Tokyo, drivers will have to watch for the walls around them. This track is very deceptive, looks quite open and driver friendly to race on, but it's surrounded by walls on both sides, so drivers' skills are really tested on this track. So while we are waiting for the timer to tick, I think we are waiting for a few more drivers. Let me just go back to the lobby. So we have 13 drivers here till now. Let's have a look who are the reserves tonight. So reserves I can see here are 2. So one is Papun. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that name. It's Papun. It might sound funny. And other one is Village Racer. So these 2 guys are reserving here tonight. We are waiting for Skinny's here already, right? So, and the grid order, it's decided by the previous results. So we don't have qualifying session. It's a reverse grid based system that we follow in this league, just to save time from qualifying and the glitch that we all suffer from in this game, which is rather unfortunate. So reverse grid is the way forward for us, and hopefully, unlike last week, we don't have to wait for over an hour for the race to start. So hopefully things will be smoother this week, and we should be able to go ahead with our race on time and hopefully finish it rather earlier than we would like. So 40 minutes endurance. So whenever we start, the race will be 40 minutes long, irrespective of how many laps the drivers can do here. So interesting race ahead. Really good track for this category, and very good track to race on. So I will be right back. Just give me a minute, and I'll be back very soon. Right, so Ancient Pleb has started the finals. So right, so let's hope this works. Where is Glenn? Let's stay on board with him, and so that we are on our pole man once the race starts. So fingers crossed. On attempt number 2, the race will go ahead as we all hoped for. There's the starting grid if anyone wants to see. 15 drivers. I'm the 16th person, so it's pretty much a full lobby. No other driver can join, and yeah, let's hope it goes on smoothly. So eyes on the mini map for the start, as this is a rolling start, so we can afford to miss the start just a bit. Let's start from the back. Oh no, there is Dheeraj Edge, who is going in circles, and I think he's the only one. The rest of everyone is going fine. So race is off. Oh, I forgot to... No, we have it on. So he is starting on soft. Flipper is on the medium. So definitely Glenn is at the advantage. Turn one. Any silly dive bombs that we can see? Oh, red dot blue and ancient pleb. Ancient pleb is all the way up into P7 already, and Fun Anywhere is struggling. He's under attack from Skinny, but Fun Anywhere manages to hold on, and he is in front of Ancient pleb. Ancient pleb, who will be looking to... Oh, as Skinny drifts around, Ancient pleb will be looking to make as many positions as possible early on. Village Racers goes off the track. Dheeraj Edge is still struggling, so I'm afraid this is race over for him. But further up the field, almost a second gap now to Flipper in P2, and the Flipper is half a second up on RKV, but RKV is sort of pulling away from Clownster, and Clownster is pulling away from the gap behind. Clownster has started on racing hard, so he goes really deep, missed the breaking point, and luckily for him there's no damage, but he will lose a lot of positions thanks to the dirty air from the car in front, but he manages to hold on, and fortunately for him there is no damage yet. Right, further back down the field, Ancient Pleb is looking quite racy and quite an interesting livery, quite a unique one and colorful. Now he will have the slipstream advantage over the drivers, as Dheeraj's car is still parked up. I cannot change my camera view, I've noticed. As you can see, I'm trying to change it. I cannot have the onboard footage, unfortunately. Maybe if I exit the lobby once, I will be able to do that, but as of now, Skinny has built up a gap of 2.5 seconds to Red Dot Blue. Red Dot Blue, ladies and gentlemen, finished P2, and it was a photo finish in Tokyo, but he is not looking so good. Oh, there is damage on his front and rear bumper and the left rear tire, so that explains why he's struggling so much at the start. There's no other damage that I can see, so maybe he went into the wall. Oh, there is heavy engine damage, or Akshay. So maybe Akshay and Red Dot Blue had some incident. Dheeraj is still in the lobby, not really sure why. Right, Glenn has built up a lead of 2.5 seconds over Flipper, so that's what was expected of the tires he is on racing soft. Flipper has built up a gap of 2.5 to Wildest Monk, who is on the racing hard tire, so he is the lead car when it comes to racing hard, and the Clownster is following up closely behind, 1.3 seconds behind. But in P5, making up position is our race winner. Oh, he goes really wide there, but there's no damage. Fortunately for him, he is in the Audi, one of the few drivers who are driving that car. Fun Anywhere is in the slipstream range of Ancient Pleb, but so is Skinny, who missed the last race. Is right on tail of Fun Anywhere. And again, I'm trying to change the camera angle, but unfortunately I cannot, so we'll stay on board with this. Let's see if Skinny goes for the move, but fortunately for Fun Anywhere, he is assisted by Ancient Pleb's slipstream. Will Skinny brake late? No, he does not, so it's rather nice and clean corner for those three guys. Further up the field, let's have a look here. A 1.3 second gap between Monk and Clownster, 1.2 now, so Clownster is closing in on the Monk. There's no damage that I can see on the Monk's car, so it's definitely all pace from Clownster that's being shown. Flipper and Glenn will be looking to build up as much of a gap as possible. Remember, everyone has to use all the three tire compounds, that's soft, medium and hards, to finish the race without any added on penalty to their race end time. Glenn meanwhile is still pulling away, 3.4 seconds gap, 3.5 almost. Flipper building up 2.5, 2.8 seconds gap, so 3/10 gained over in just one corner. Monk has managed to pull up a gap of over 2 seconds to Clownster. Pleb meanwhile is as expected closing in rapidly on Clownster. He is on racing hard, so Monk, Clownster and Ancient Pleb are on the same compound, and so is Fun Anywhere else. So Skinny meanwhile on the soft will be looking to close on the gap, but he has suffered some damage to his front bumper, so this should affect his drag system as he goes almost into the barrier, but fortunately for him he doesn't. Stashy, one of the quick drivers in the proximity races, is down into P8, or should I say up into P8. He started from the back of the grid, but currently under attack from Village Racer, both of them on racing hard, and Village Racer will send it down the inside. He is preparing for it, and oh, there's a bit of a contact, but Very nicely held by Stashy, no damage done there. RKV and Pabu are fighting their own battle for P10. P10 is the last point paying position, so these 5 rounds are quite close to each other, so you can say it's a fight for P7 as long as Skinny can hold these guys behind. Further back down the field, Red Dot Blue, not a good race for him. He's stretching this dent with the damage car even further. He's on the racing hard, so he will be losing time courtesy his damage and the tire compounder. Meanwhile, Village Racer is right beside Stashy, but Stashy has the inside of this sharp left-hander. I cannot switch to the onboard camera, but Stashy holds on to his position for now, but he will be under attack on the main straight as we have a really long main straight, flat out kink towards the right, but it's still very much flat out, and you can consider that as a straight. And Village Racer needs to play it smart and stay right on his tail, and Stash is not very far off from, as he gets a bit of a hit and suffers damage as a result, and you can see he dropped down 2 positions and lost position to RKV as well. Let's move forward. Ancient Pleb has managed to make the move on Clouster as we just went on board with him. So Ancient Pleb is now free to catch up to the Wildest Monk, and you can see the gap is reducing down every 10th of a second as we speak. And I think Monk knows that unless Ancient Pleb really fluff his race or the stint, Monk will have no chance of defending it. But further up the field, Glenn has pulled away a gap of 5 seconds expected of his tire compound. Flipper has pulled up a gap of 5 seconds to the Monk, who is on the racing hard. So strategy for both the top 2 runners is going as expected. Ancient Pleb is still 1.3 seconds behind, so not closing in as quickly or as rapidly as he would have hoped. Clownster is using the slipstream of Ancient Pleb to stay behind and probably come go for the attack rather on Monk along with Pleb. Fun Anyway is on a world of his own, 3.2 seconds behind Clownster and 4.8 seconds in front of RKV. RKV and Village Racer are going side by side. Where is Red Dot Blue? Red Dot, Skinny, what happened to him? Some damage on his car that results in him losing a position to Red Dot Blue. Red Dot Blue is in P10 now in a points paying position, and Skinny will be under attack from, he goes into the wall again, so not a good race from Skinny, who missed his last race. And yeah, there's no point defending, he just has to let him through, and he suffers a massive damage here. So he should be pitting, or he has to pit rather. There's no point continuing. Mahip is... RKV is in the pits, so I believe that's the first one who is pitting now. Not really sure. Ancient Pleb has managed to close on the gap to Monk by a second the last time we were on board with him. And we could see him, as Monk makes some impact to the rail guards on his right. So I think we could see a move from Ancient Pleb on the Monk, and you can see the gap between Flipper and Monk has closed down by 2/10. So it was 5 seconds, it is 4.8 now. Maybe hards are coming on their own or mediums are going off. You can think of anything. Glenn has managed to pull off a second from last lap, so this race is going really well for him. Started from pole courtesy his second to last finish in Tokyo, but since Archie's not here, who would have been on pole if he was here tonight, with Archie not being here, Glenn inherited the pole. So now Monk is right on, Pleb is right on Monk's tail, I'm sorry. Will he go for the move? The gap is not close enough to send it down the inside, so I think Monk should be safe for now as Clownster has come into the pits. Fuel wise, he looks pretty okay. I think it's just the tire compound and the damage that he has at the front that needs a bit of a repair, and he is refueling a bit. Let me just go back and let me see if any other battle. Let me just exit the lobby and join back again. There you go, sorted. This is better, so this will give us a better angle to see how close they are while fighting their rivals on the track. So let's stay with the replay mode as of now. Up at the front there's no battle going on. Further down the field, Red Dot Blue has managed to come into the pits and get himself repaired, so now we could see his real pace now. He was very quick in Tokyo last week, and same we are expecting. It is expected of him tonight as well. So P11, remember when he made his first pit stop, where will he finish? Let's just wait and see. So 10 minutes have gone by from the race, 29 minutes, or rather half an hour still to go. Akshay is over a minute down to our race leader Glenn. Glenn tires are worn out, 50% of them on the right, looks in a pretty bad shape, but he is continuing. He is pulling away a gap from Flipper, which is good for him. Flipper meanwhile is losing time to Monk. It is 4.5 seconds now, the gap. Ancient Pleb still not able to find a gap and make his way through wildest Monk. So Monk is doing a pretty good job, or maybe Ancient Pleb is saving fuel, using all his experience of the game to strategize on the race. Right, so just had a sip of water. This battle is still continuing. Will Pleb? No. Knowing Pleb, he will not go for any outlandish move on anyone. He knows he has the pace over everyone here, and he will wait for the right opportunity. Fastest laps at present still belongs to Glenn, who is 1.2 seconds quicker than Ancient Pleb. Ancient Pleb is side by side. Him and Monk, I think, played the Smario gets a tap from Monk, but I think Monk gave up that position on that corner, knowing that a long straight is coming up and they should give him the opportunity to go back. Oh no, but Monk is coming in along with Flipper, so maybe trying an undercut or some other strategy. Not really sure. Let me just get this camera angle back up again. So I think Ancient Pleb has managed to lap Akshay. Yes, Akshay, who was making his debut in race 2, missed the last week's race due to other commitments, and so is Skinny. So these two full-time drivers making their season 2 debut. Of course, Skinny is a proximity veteran, someone who founded this league, and through which we are able to race. So well done to him. 11.5 seconds is the gap between him and Ancient Pleb, so we'll keep an eye out on that gap. We could see the gap close down corner by corner. Any other battle, we'll stay on board with him. I don't want to spoil that name. It's Papoon, whatever that name is. I'm sorry if I butchered it, but yeah, he is attacking RKB, but RKB managed to pull away a gap of close to second over last corner, which is good. Monk is meanwhile under attack from Clownster. Clownster and Monk both are on the medium compounds. I believe Clownster was already... no, he was on hards. So both these hard runners, as Monk is lagging just a bit there, so both these guys were on the hard compounds and now on medium. Pleb is in the pits. He was on hards. Let's see which compound of tire he goes on. Pretty unique livery, I must say. So he was fighting Monk when Monk made his pit stop, and Monk should be able to jump him courtesy the undercut, unless Pleb put in a massive or should I say mega in lap. And there you see Pleb just managed to come in front, but the speed advantage that Monk and Clownster had, Pleb was able to lose. Not able, rather, Clownster was able to gain a position out of all of that. So Pleb has a work on his hand, 2 seconds, but that's not a big deal considering the pace advantage that he has and the battle that these two guys are having. So he should be able to close on the gap. You can see 1.8 seconds already. So the hunt for P7 at the moment is very much on for Ancient Pleb. Further up the field, there is no battle I can see. Glenn has built up a 20-second lead, and I believe he should be in. Let's stay on board. Will he go in? Yeah, he is out of fuel, so he definitely will be in. Which compound of tires will he be on? We'll have to wait and see. Fun Anywhere is on hards, and I think he is yet to make a pit stop. but I think the gap that Glenn was able to build on P2, he should come out in the lead. We'll have to just wait and see. So Fun Anywhere is carrying on. Village Racer, Glenn has fallen down to P2. Village Racer is gone into pits. Flipper has made his pit stop. So Fun Anywhere takes the provisional lead of round 2. Flipper is in the P2. Glenn comes out in P3 and he is on the medium, so that's the second compound of tires that he is using. So that's 2 compound tires that have been ticked from his allotted tires. So hards are the only one that he will be using now, or rather he has to use if he wants to avoid any time penalty being added onto his final race time. Further down the field, the battle between Clownster and Clownster goes a bit too deep. Where is Ancient Pleb? Oh, Pleb has lost a lot of time. Oh yeah, he has. Did he pit again? I'm not really sure. I mean, 10 seconds gap. Did he just go on hards and came out on mediums? I'm really confused. I don't remember what compound was he on, but whatever it was, he is close to 10 seconds behind Clownster and Monk, so this will give some breathing space to Clownster, as he will have nothing to worry about in his rearview mirror. Meanwhile, battle for P7 is between 3 cars, between RKV, Village Racer and Red Dot Blue. Red Dot Blue is showing his pace now. He has been an unfortunate victim of lap 1 crash, and now with his car sorted, let's have a look at the tire wear. So these 2 are on the fresh compound of tires. Red Dot Blue on rather worn tires, or worn medium should I say, compared to these 2. But still, the pace advantage that he has, one can never count him out. But long straight coming up, Village Racer very much close behind RKV, so I don't think RKV can defend that. As we can see, Red Dot Blue is into the pits from the medium. Oh, the fuel was the issue there, so he had to pit there. Village Racer on the outside, RKV defending that, defended rather well, and Village Racer slots back behind him. Further up the field, gap behind the Pleb and Clownster is very much the same, so maybe he is saving fuel. Clownster and Monk are still fighting. There's no swap in the positions there. Glenn is 1.7 seconds behind Flipper, who is on the soft, but rather worn soft compared to Glenn's medium, so Glenn should be able to close on the gap. So the pace that Glenn has shown tonight is truly commendable. You never know, I mean, if Ancient Pleb fails to, or rather not manage to overtake the 2 drivers in front of him, we could see Glenn win his first ever race with proximity. But you know, it's still a long way to go. Almost 50% of race has been done, and he is under the 16 range. You can see Fun Anywhere, 0% of fuel, so he is right on the brink in the pit stop. So that will drop him, I won't say massively, but that will drop him quite a bit down the order, as refueling takes a lot of time. Glenn, the Flipper has gone straight on. I'm not really sure if it was an error from his end or he got a tap from Glenn. I think this could be an error from Flipper himself, as he is suffering from engine damage. Glenn was over a second behind Flipper, so not really sure if Glenn was the culprit here, but we'll have to wait and see in the replays after the race. But as of now, Flipper will struggle quite a bit and have to limp his Audi back to the pits. He crashed in turn 1, and it's a long track, and yeah, he literally limped back to the pits, and this has allowed Monk and Clownster to close the gap on Flipper, and Flipper don't think he will really defend that. As you can see, just lets those 2 through. So out of all that, Clownster and Monk managed to gain another position. The gap between Flipper and Ancient Pleb will fall down, that's expected, but we'll see in a while the gap between Pleb and Clownster, if it has come down from 9.8 seconds. Glenn meanwhile is up into the lead again, and he is lapping Akshay. Yeah, that's Akshay. So almost 1.5 minutes, he's behind. Akshay is into the pits again, so not the best of the debuts for Akshay here. Mahip is another debutant here. He is down into P30, so not the best race for him as well. Skinny debut race of the season. Not his debut for sure, but yeah, he's not having a good race himself. Stashy, considering the pace that he has, we could see him gain a few positions, but he is in a very interesting battle with Red Dot Blue. So both these guys, oh, he goes a bit deep, but no damage done. So Stashy and Red Dot Blue are very much at par on pace when it comes to these two drivers. So this should be interesting that how they manage their races. Maybe they could work as a team with each other, or they could just race each other. So it's up to them how they take the race from here. Flipper, meanwhile, is down into P9. He was P2, remember, before getting that damage. Or should I say in the lead? He was P1, I think. Yeah, he was in P1 before going into the balls at turn 1. So the race not going too well for him. But still, like I said, it's 50% race still left. Anything can happen. Where is Pleb? The gap has come down to 7.1 seconds. So he has managed to close on the gap by 2 seconds. RKV meanwhile is pulling up a gap to Village Racer, and Fun Anywhere is closing down the gap to him as well. Up the field, the position remain intact between Clownster and Monk. These two may be working as a team. They are not teammates, as Clownster is in the pits, maybe trying an undercut. The fuel is not an issue here, but I believe he will refuel just a bit. Pleb has taken on P3, quite a colorful Audi, as Mahip has left the room, so he has had enough of the race. It's not the best of debut for Mahip here. Monk is 11.1 seconds behind and 11.2 now, so Glenn is again pulling up a gap to Monk, and even though both on the same compound of tires, Monk is on a slightly worn medium, so this should help Glenn pull away a gap, but he is not at present. So maybe Monk is pushing that little bit extra. Pleb meanwhile is closing on the gap, as we can see currently. Under 7 seconds is the gap. Now RKV still holding on from Village Racer. The gap is very much consistent at 1.5. 2 seconds lead from Fun Anywhere, and behind him Clownster will be closing down on Fresh Set of Soft. So interesting choice here. He has, I believe, used all the tire compounds, but obviously we'll have to recheck after the end of the race. But I think Clownster has used all the 3 tire compounds, so we could see the gap fall down between him and Fun Anywhere. Papu is in the world of his own, as he's drifting all over the track because he can. Monk is in the pits, so he wasn't on the medium compounds, and he was fighting Clownster. So where will he come out in relation to Clownster? We'll have to wait and see. He is refueling, and he's done with his pit stop. Where is Clownster? There is Monk. So Monk did a pretty good job, but the space advantage that Clownster has, and he managed to slot just in front of Monk. So Clownster will be really happy with this undercut, and it worked out to perfection just in front of him at the braking zone. So now the tables have turned. Oh, Clownster lagged there a bit, but no damage done, luckily for him. He is on the softs again. So are they in the same party? They are having the same strategy at the moment, and you can see Clownster is pulling away a gap, surprisingly. But maybe cold tires are just coming into play here before Monk is able to pull down the gap once again. Up in the front, Ancient Pleb is finally through to P2. He is 17.4 seconds behind our race leader, who has been leading this race from pretty much lap 1. I mean, he started from pole, but lost the lead for a lap or 2 before retaking the lead. So the gap is 17.3, 17.2 now, so the gap could come down. Both are on the same compound of tires. How will that turn out? We'll have to wait and see. Village Racer is doing quite well. P3, someone who's a reserve, is showing a really good pace here. 2 seconds down is Fun Anywhere, who is quite rapid in this game, to be honest. Clownster and Monk battle continues as Monk sends it down the inside. One of them is lagging. I'm not sure if it's Monk or or Clownster, but whoever it is, we are witnessing quite an interesting battle between these two. RKV is 13 seconds behind, and Papoon is now out of his slipstream rate. So RKV should be able to pull away. Flipper, meanwhile, who was having a pretty good race and was leading at one point, is down to P9, and it's an uphill task to build up all the positions in front of him. Red Dot Blue has managed to get in front of Stashy. Maybe Stashy made a pit stop. The gap between Red Dot Blue and Skinny is a massive 38.8 seconds. So definitely Stashy must have had a crash, or he made a pit stop. Not really sure. Skinny in P11. I'm sure he would like to score at least a point here. So just over 40 minutes to go. You never know, anything can happen. Stashy is slowing down. There's no damage on his car, so I don't know what's going on. Pleb is in the pits, and Glenn is still continuing. Akshay Motorsport, meanwhile, he has been lapped once by the race leader, and Glenn is still continuing. The tire wear situation is quite alright considering the medium compound tires, so he should be good to come out in the lead once he is in the pits. He has to use the hard compound, so that's the only tire that remains. So fuel strategy is one of the important things that Glenn has to take care of. Village Racer is up into P2. Where is Pleb? Pleb has come out of the pits on racing soft, so he will be rapid, but how much he can gain from the stint on the soft, considering he went for a full tank of fuel on this pit stop, rather his last pit stop. So he will have to make a lot of ground and ensure that he is able to overtake Glenn once he gets past all these guys. Let's get back to the battle that we had. Monk has closed on the gap to Fun Anywhere. Speaking of Monk, where is Clownster? Clownster has made a pit stop, and he is now on the medium compound. So that explains why he is down into P9, and he was having quite a good battle with Monk. Not really sure, maybe he got a damage that we missed to get on the stream, as we have a supporter in Jackster for Monk. So Monk is being cheered on by Jackster, and now we can see Monk is under attack mode, or rather on attack mode on Fun Anywhere, but Fun Anywhere will not make that easy for Monk and holds on to his position for now. Looks like he's driving a Coca-Cola car, but he's not. It's Esso, if that's the brand, if I read it correctly. But anyways, he managed to make the move stick. He's up into P2 now, but he is a long way behind Glenn, but he should be looking to pull away a gap now to Fun Anywhere, who is in a Toyota, I believe. That's a Toyota, right? Further down the field, Ancient Pleb is hunting down RKV. RKV and Ancient Pleb both are on the racing soft, but the pace advantage that Pleb has, we should see the gap fall down rapidly over the next few corners. Further down, Village Racer is fighting Papoon here, and both of them are reserves, currently reserving, but Papoon, I think he has been overtaken by Village Racer courtesy his worn-out tires. Further back, there's a battle between Flipper and Clownster. Don't really think Clownster will go for a move here. Clownster, meanwhile, is on the racing mediums compared to Flipper's racing hard, so he will have the tire advantage and the grip advantage from the corners. Red Dot Blue has managed to close down the gap, and he will be joining this party pretty soon. He is on the medium compounds. Oh, both of them go into the wall, and Clownster has suffered a big damage here. Bigger damage than a Flipper. Oh, he goes really slow there. Not really sure what happened to Red Dot Blue. He had turned in, but this is not a good news for Clownster. I'm still confused. Why did he make a pit stop? Maybe he had a damage, or maybe he was trying something different, but that has, whatever the case was, this has hurt him really badly, and now for someone fighting for P2 a few laps ago is now down to P10. Meanwhile, Stashy is a long way behind, so he will be safe in P10. Further up the field, let's have a look. Any close battles? RKV is still managing to hold on to his P4. Fun Anywhere is still behind Monk, and the gap is pretty safe between him and Glenn, so we should see Glenn. Also Glenn, as we speak, Glenn is in the pits and he will go on to the hards. 10 minutes left for the race and he should be good to go all the way to the end. I believe he wouldn't have to pit for fuel as well unless he underfuels his car, which obviously no one wants to see. The way he has dominated this race from the start, pretty much. Where is Glenn? Glenn is on the hards now, as expected. Who was in? Okay, no, I think that was a ghost car that went through. Yeah, that was Akshay. So this is our race leader, Monk, who is on one soft. Glenn is on the fresh hards with a full tank of fuel, so he is definitely very much with the advantage of possibly winning the race. Pleb is further down with racing soft and what is that? 60% fuel. So strategy wise, I think this is Glenn's for the taking, or rather Glenn's to lose. But all he has to do is just keep it away from the wall and keep it clean, and yeah, he should win it from here. Monk has to pit. I really don't think he can manage this amount of fuel and the tire weight all the way to the end. So as Monk is lagging just a little bit here, but yeah, no serious threat to Glenn, who is 2.5 seconds behind him. Pleb is 9.7 seconds, so he is closing down the gap as the battle between... Oh no, that's a back marker. My bad. Battle here is between Village Racer and Fun Anywhere. Fun Anywhere is on the fresh racing soft, and he is definitely looking for P5 set in his sights. So we'll stay on board, and Monk is in the pits finally, so Monk will lose P2 for now unless Pleb makes another pit stop. But we'll stay on board here in this camera angle, see how much the gap Fun Anywhere is able to close. Not by a lot at the moment. RKV is in the pits as well, but I don't think Fun Anywhere is close enough to make the move. I can see the rearview mirror, side mirror rather, so nothing there that I can see. Up the field, yeah, there you can see in his side mirrors. This is a pretty good camera angle. Should use this more during the battles. Yeah, you can see he is still there. You can see him, but let's get back to the broadcast camera. That was pretty nice. So Village Racer managing to hold on to P4. He will have to pit again. Can't say that for Fun Anywhere, but this side by side Fun Anywhere managed to get a better exit, but I think Village Racer conceded at position, seeing that there's no way he's going to make it to the end on this compound and that amount of fuel. So I think that's a pretty smart move without losing much time. Just have your own race, and since he's a reserve, points won't matter much to him. So rather run your own race than risk it altogether and for your rival. Monk is out into P3. He is on the racing soft and the half tank of fuel, so this should be good enough to take him to the end of the race. 7.7 seconds is the gap. The gap has closed down, but I don't think the gap will close down massively. It is still closing down, but the tire weight that Pleb has compared to, look at this, good as new racing hard tires on Glenn. So I think Glenn is pretty much set to take his first race win of the league, but I mean, Pleb should be obviously applauded once again for the race that he has carried out from almost the back of the grid. Remember, it's a reverse grid start, so race winner from each race will start from the back of the grid if there are no other reserves racing that week. So yeah, you can say pretty much back of the grid did Ancient Pleb start from, and made his way up, and he's still gaining time though. 7.1 second is the gap, or maybe Glenn is taking it lightly. Whatever the case is, the gap is closing down. 6/10 closed down in a couple of sectors, so still no pressure on Glenn as of yet. Fun Anyway is gaining time on Village Racer. 1.4 second, 1.7 second, 1.8 seconds is the gap. So tire wear definitely kicking in, and we could see Village Racer go into the pits. RKV meanwhile is in P6, who just set his personal best sector. Pleb is in the pits, as yeah, I think that was very much expected. So rather pit and get on fresh set of tires, probably soft, yeah it is soft, than to risk your tires and lose a lot of time to the drivers behind. So 6.7 seconds is the gap between Fun Anywhere and Pleb. How much can he gain in the final, what is that, maybe 3 laps more to go? So podium is still very much on the cards for Monk, Fun Anywhere and Ancient Pleb, but who out of these 3 will stand on the podium along with Glenn? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Glenn can still bottle it, but for his sake we'll all just hope that he brings home the car in one piece and in P1, so that we could see him stand on top of the podium. Monk 8.7 seconds, so the gap is too big to catch even if he pushes every lap. He is 2.3 seconds ahead of Fun Anywhere. Ancient Pleb has lost 5/10 to Fun Anywhere as of now. Down the field, RKV is 11.7 seconds behind Pleb. Village Racer, who just made his pit stop, will be looking to attack RKV, so we could see that battle brewing up pretty quickly. Clownster, who was fighting for P2 at one stage, not really sure what happened. Once he took the lead from Monk after his pit stop, he just lost huge amount of positions and then got involved in an accident that damaged his car rapidly, quite massively. Papu meanwhile, Red Dot Blue is under attack from Red Dot Blue, both driving Toyota with a similar livery. Will we see a move here? Not really sure. The gap is too big between the two of them. Flipper is 2 seconds behind him. Stashy meanwhile, not a race that he would have hoped for by his standards. Skinny and Akshay, yeah, rather unfortunate sight watching other guys lap them. Race leader is still 7.6 seconds up in the front, so he's very much in his happy place. Monk has pulled up a gap of almost 3.5 seconds, or rather over 3.5 seconds now, to Fun Anywhere, and he is now getting under attack from Pleb expectedly. So at this rate, I think Monk is safe for P2 unless he bottles it as well. Fun Anywhere will be under attack from Pleb, so they all are coming onto the main straight. So 2 more laps at most is what these guys will get. Fastest lap belonged to Stashy with a 126.6, but we can see that time being beaten by Ancient Pleb on this lap. Let's see what time he does. There you go, 126 there. So fastest lap belongs, yet another fastest lap belongs to Ancient Pleb as he overtakes a ghost car through him. That's Akshay, I believe, in the Porsche. Any other battle that we can have a look at? Oh, Flipper went deep into the corner. Not really sure if he was pushed, but yeah, I think he is in a very good position to send his car down the inside or maybe through the outside and make his move on Red Dot Blue. So this is a battle for the wooden spoon when it comes to the points finishes. P10 will be the last point paying position, so Red Dot Blue will do everything that his tires can give him to keep him at bay, and that could help Papu hold on to his P8 currently. Oh, as he goes really deep into the corner, that's not gonna help him and he will lose a lot of time because of that. A second now, it's the gap. Let's get on this battle now. 3 seconds the gap, and you can see Fun Anywhere very clearly. The gap is 2.8 now, so 1 more lap to go. This is the main straight. Yes, this is the main straight. Glenn has started his final lap. He is taking turn 1 of his final lap, so a brilliant race for him. We'll come back to him in a bit. Monk, ever consistent. This guy is amazingly consistent, and that has shown in the result. He finished P2 in season 1 behind Abidu Speed, and now he's showing even with the faster guys around him. All you need is to keep it clean, and the points will pay you back rather handsomely. Fun anywhere, under 2 seconds is the gap now, so Ancient Pleb is really pushing, but the tire wear. Oh, he has a tire advantage over Fun anywhere, as Clownster has finished the race because the timer ran out on him. So Clownster will finish P7, Papu in P8. Let's just quickly run through it. Red Dot Blue in P9, Flipper in P10. So Red Dot Blue managed to hold on to P9. Skinny, Stashy, and Akshay Motorsport will finish in that order. Glenn, meanwhile, is still in P1. Let's keep an eye out on this battle. I think Pleb is out of track, and yeah, he will be finishing P4. Not bad considering where he started, but I'm sure he would have hoped for a higher place finish. So let's get on board with Glenn, who drove a brilliant race from pole. Didn't have a best of races in Tokyo, but not anymore. He started from pole, showed the pace that he had, and Checker waved his flag, and he wins his debut race, or rather debut win in Sardegna in the valley of Italian mountains. Monk finishes in P2. Fun anyway held on to the final podium position in P3. Pleb, after all his hard work, finished in a respectable P4. RKV managed to hold on to P5. Good race for him. I believe he got damaged at the start, but P5 is still a pretty good position. Village Racer, a reserve for tonight, finished in a respectable P6. And I think that's everyone done. And there is the result. And there you have it. Unlike last time, and unlike the similar side that we have been seeing in season 1, you finally have a different winner in Glenn. So let's have a race result here. Fastest lap goes to Ancient Pleb, of course, so that's well done to him. Who was in 14? I think, yeah, Mahip. Right, so let's just run through this order one last time. Glenn finishes in P1, starting from pole. Monk in P2, and Fun Anywhere rounds up the podium. Outside the podium, it's Pleb, RKV, Village Racer, Clownster, Papu, Red Dot Blue, and Flipper rounding off the point finishers. Also the points, and rather they won't be too happy with this, but it's Skinny, Stashy, and Akshay. DNFs were Mahip and Dheeraj H, who failed to start the race. So this has been it. And yeah, I mean, one more thing that struck me. Glenn was commentating on the race last night in Formula 1, and I took the win. And tonight I'm in the comment box, and Glenn took the win. So maybe we should do this every week. If Glenn is listening to this, let's bring out the paperwork and do this every week, and you know, we could support each other. Why not? So right there you have it. Race 2 is done and into the history books. Next week, where are we? Let me just have a quick look at the calendar. So next week we will be in a real world track in USA, in Laguna Seca, in Group 3 cars. So that should be interesting. Race to watch, but that's next week. But for tonight, what did I press? Right, oh, the session has been ended. So yeah, so that's been it from me tonight. This was a commentator, Caesar, signing off, and good night.